Max Holloway is red hot. Oh my goodness. Max can't get him wrong. You have to be able to remember yesterday to appreciate today, okay? Max Holloway going into UFC 300. UFC 3, I believe Max's fight with Gaethje is your guys' most amazing fight of all time in terms of wow moments. The whole thing was wow. When Max won the first round, that was wow. I think Max could go anywhere with Gaethje. I don't know that Max was overly confident that he could fight certain positions with Gaethje. Gaethje was not worried about Max going to certain positions with him. I mean, I'm just sharing with you Max was running away with that fight. It was still wow. Wow, Max won a round. Whoa, Max won a second round. Whoa, Max, like you were having these wow moments all before you get to the iconic point down, shoe shine, knockout. That was a cherry on a sundae of what would have gone down as fight of the night and a fight of the year candidate. And there's not a time that you could tell me that you've seen domination like that and then come away and go, that was the most amazing fight I've ever seen. That's not how it works. It's always back and forth. It's always give and take. It's called hope spots. This guy's coming on, and now his fans get hope that he's going to take it over. And then the other guy comes on. You had hope spots in Max versus Dustin, by example. Dustin swarmed him for a TKO. Just a couple more of the right shot, and he would have got it. Max had swarmed Dustin prior to that for a TKO. Massive hope spots, massive emotions, back and forth. But those are the fights that you come away and say, hey, that was one of the greatest fights I've ever seen. That's where you call a buddy and go, did you see that? Or you call somebody else and say, you need to go see this. There was none of that. None of that at UFC 300, and it's still, oh my goodness. Now, before I digress to break down my enthusiasm for that match, going into that fight, they didn't know what to do with Max. You guys were not calling for anything for Max. You guys were going, okay, this is who I want to see Max fight. And you really couldn't. Down at 145, he'd gone through the gamut. Ilya wasn't quite Ilya yet. And everyone else, aside from Ilya, Max had fought. All of them. He was in a world's toughest spot, so they move him against Gaethje, a fight you did not ask for, a fight Max didn't ask for, a fight Gaethje didn't ask for. None of us could even quite figure out why that was the match. But think about this from Max's perspective, okay? He doesn't have a lot to do. He's a star. And he's awesome. But he's already done it all. What do? It's not a matter of give Max an opportunity. You did. It's not a matter of give Max a title. You did. All right. He comes out of 300, and before he even leaves the ring, he lines up business with Ilya. He lets the world know through Joe Rogan and a microphone, I am going to take this beautiful ticket, this beautiful golden ticket called a BMF belt, and I am going to cash it in at 145 against him. Great. You know how huge that is to have a job tomorrow? Most important thing for you guys to have at your job today, it's not to make sure your profits exceed your expenditures. It's not to be there early. It's not to stay late. The most important thing when you leave today is to make sure you can come back tomorrow. Max went into 300, and there was no discussion of what was going to be tomorrow. How would there be? He's not going to beat Gaethje. I mean, what are we going to do? We don't know what to do with the guy at his weight class, so we're going to move him to a different weight class. He's going to get stomped out here. It's not like that opens doors for what to do with him. He leaves there with a belt and lines up another opportunity at a belt. It was one of the most amazing. This was one of Max's great moments. The way Max conducted himself at 300 after the fight was one of his great moments that set him up for the biggest. But Max hadn't had anything but title fights. Well, for a title this past weekend, his previous fight was for a different title. His fight before that was for the very title that he defended this last weekend. I mean, it's been amazing. You take a guy, you don't know what to do with him, and he finds himself in 1, 2, 3 title fights, and he's not done. This greedy bastard is trying to get another world title fight, and he's got Dana in a position where Dana has now publicly said it's not off the table. And I'm not talking about down the road. Of course Max can get a title fight down the road. I'm talking about now. Right now. Do you know how good you would have to be at behind-the-scenes politics? Do you know how good you'd have to be to get a rematch against a guy that you just fought and lost to? I mean, do you know how good you'd have to be? And you're going to do that at a different weight class. Now you're going to redo the same match with something different, and you're not going to have to suffer as much because you're not going to wait. I mean, do you understand what it would take? And Max has found himself in a position where Dana says it's not off the table. Okay. Simultaneously, while trying to pursue Ilia Topuria, Max is also setting the table to defend the BMF belt. Now, that's very important. That's very important. This BMF thing, for me, is awesome. And you got to understand, you got two different things going on here, right? The world title bout is for the audience. That's what the world title belt is for. The BMF is for the locker room. So what is your standing amongst your peers? What is your legacy going to be down the road? You know, as soon as you're nominated to fight for that belt, whether you get it or not, as soon as you're nominated, the locker room has now just handed you a tremendous compliment. So Max, while he's going for Ilia, this is a chess play. This is a chess play. He knows he's not getting it right now, but he might find himself in a backup spot, and stranger things have happened, and he's certainly willing, and something weird's going on at 155. I believe it's very clearly going to be Sarukian, but I'm just sharing with you something's going on where we haven't got this announcement, so there's no reason to not insert yourself. But meanwhile, Max has set up a title fight for himself over here, which, by the way, they don't always put up the belt. You have a BMF champion fight, and the championship's not on the line. Max is saying garbage. Bullcrap. I'm the champ. I'm going to defend my belt. And he's extremely right to do it. By the way, do you have any objection? Max Holloway versus Dan Hooker for the BMF belt. That's the fight, right?